Good morning, everyone. Today, our group will be discussing a very important issue that happens quite often in the food service industry, which is negligence. Specifically, we will talk about the case involving Diane and her employee, Simon, which result in food poisoning among customers. This case is a great example that shows how one careless action in a restaurant can affect many people's health, reputation, and even the future of a business.
Yes, that's true, Shamika. Negligence in the food industry can happen when workers or owners do not follow proper hygiene and safety procedure. In this case, Diane, as the restaurant owner, had a serious duty of care towards her customer. It was her responsibility to make sure that her restaurant followed all food safety regulations, from hiring trained employees to maintaining cleanliness in the kitchen. However, Diane failed to fulfill her duty. She hired Simon even though he did not have a valid food handler certification and had not taken his typhoid injection. Instead of following the rules, she told him not to worry about that requirement. That clearly shows she neglected her legal and ethical responsibilities.
Exactly, Wani. That leads us to the second element of negligence, which is breach of duty. Diana's decision to hire Simon, despite knowing he wasn't qualified already, shows carelessness on her part. But Simon was also guilty of breaching his duty. He handled raw chicken and left it on the counter when he went to lunch. When he came back, he continued preparing food without washing his hand. This is a major violation of food safety practice because harmful bacteria can easily spread and contaminate the food. Both Diana and Simon failed to take reasonable care to protect their customer.
Yes, Balkis, and because of that, the third element, which is causation, is clearly seen in this case. Causation means the connection between their careless actions and the harm that occurred. The customer's food poisoning was a direct result of Simon's unsafe food handling and also Diane's lack of supervision. If Diane had made sure Simon was properly trained and vaccinated, and if Simon had practiced good hygiene, this incident would not have happened. So the illness that the customer suffered was directly caused by both of their negligence.
That's very true, Aisha. And we can't forget about the last element, which is damage. The customers didn't just experience physical pain or food poisoning. Some of them might have had to go to the hospital, take medical leave, or even lose income because of this. For Diane, the damage went beyond just losing customers. Her restaurant's reputation was affected badly. Once people hear about a restaurant causing food poisoning, they lost trust immediately. She might also face legal action or fines from the health authorities for not following food safety laws. This shows how negligence doesn't only harm customers but also destroys the business itself.
I totally agree, Nina. This case teaches us a very valuable lesson. Food safety is not something that can be taken lightly. Every single person working with food has a responsibility, from the owner to the cook and even the waiter. They all must follow hygiene standards carefully. Simple action like washing hands, wearing clean uniform, and storing food properly can prevent big problems. The case of Diane and Simon remind us that negligence is not just about breaking rules. It's about endangering human health and losing customer trust.
That's a really good point, Aisha. I also think this case highlights how both management and employees must work together to maintain a safe environment. Owners like Diane must ensure proper training and supervision, while employees like Simon must follow instructions and hygiene procedures. Food safety should always be a team effort.
Yes, teamwork and awareness are very important. Sometimes people think it's okay to skip a step or ignore a rule because they are in a hurry. But as we can see here, even one small mistake like forgetting to wash hands can cause serious harm. That's why education and regular food safety training are so crucial in every restaurant or food business.
Exactly, Wani. The best way to prevent negligence is through consistent training, inspection, and strict hygiene control. The management should always remind the staff that the customer had come first. Also, authorities need to enforce food safety regulations strictly to make sure business don't ignore their responsibilities.
That's right. In fact, this case also shows that negligence affects more than just physical health. It can also impact emotional and financial well-being. Customers who got food poisoning might lose trust in eating outside and then could lose her source of income. It's a reminder that being careless has real life consequences.
I agree. The most important takeaway here is that negligence is completely preventable. If Diane had been responsible and Simon had practiced proper hygiene, none of this would have happened. So this case really served as a warning for everyone in the food industry to always put safety first.
To sum up our discussion, this case of Diane and Simon clearly show all four elements of negligence: duty of care, breach of duty, causation, and damage. It teaches us that food safety is not about following laws, but about protecting customers' life and maintaining the trust that keeps a business running.
Well said, everyone. Let's remember that negligence may start from a small mistake, but the impact can be huge. As future professionals in the food service and halal industry, we must always practice care, responsibility, and integrity in every task we do. Thank you so much.